Welcome back, Synth Drones. Today I want to talk about synth companies that get it. Hi, I'm Pure Ambient Drone. This is my channel where I talk about synthesizers. Hit the subscribe button, tap the bell to keep up with all of my synth adventures. Love to have you aboard. You wouldn't want to miss anything, would you? And if you don't mind, go on over to patreon.com/Pure Ambient Drone and support me over there. Got some content that I do not include on this channel just for my Patreons. All right, synth companies that get it. What am I talking about? I'm talking about synth companies that realize that synth drones like you and I have something very special in mind when it comes to synthesizers, and that is quality analog at affordable prices. Quality analog synthesizers, let me say it again, at affordable prices. Why? Because we know our gear, we love our gear, we want to keep our gear for a long time, and we want to be able to afford all we can afford. Okay? That's just who we are. Korg gets it. Novation gets it. Arturia gets it. Behringer gets it. Now, if I was to pit the companies against one another, and I'm talking about all of them, not just the ones I just mentioned, somebody is going to have to really step up their game or they're going to be hurting. Somebody in the synth manufacturing world is going to see a dip in their stock. My prediction, I'm just guessing here, would probably, out of the big players, okay, because there's a lot of players on the board, but we're going to talk about the big guys. Roland is probably going to be hurting in the next couple of years. So Roland, if you're watching my video, I am not bashing you guys. You have a lot of great products, but you're not reaching the synth drones on a long-term basis. Now, before I get into Roland a little bit more, let me tell you who I think really gets it and who can really survive the synth clone wars. Korg. Korg has been around for a long time, and they have some fabulous old style gear under their belt. They get it. They have some great digital synthesizers. They have some great VA synthesizers. They have some fantastic analog, synthesizers. They get it. And in the last several years, they have pumped out the Korg MS-20. They have pumped out the Mini-Log, the Mono-Log, the Pro-Log, and the Mini-Log XD. They get it. They get it so well that they dropped the price of the Pro-Log, foreseeing what was going to happen in the market when Behringer enters it full blast. They know they're going to have to compete. They know that the price had to come down. They know that their Pro-Log was up there competing with sequential or DSI synthesizers, and that people were choosing a lot of the DSIs over their Pro-Log. In fact, I went with a Rev 2 over a Pro-Log when I was presenting with the choice because the prices were pretty close enough for me to make the decision. Now, with that being said, at the time of this video, a brand new Pro-Log from Korg is going for $14.99. I got me one. It's on its way. It'll be here this week. Now, the reason why I think Roland is going to be hurting and Korg won't be is, one, Korg has played off of their experience in the past, continuing to give the consumer exactly what they want. In some respects, no company ever gets it 100% right. No company ever will. But Korg has really put an ear to the ground, listening for signals. Who knows? They might be watching my channel. I don't know. Roland, on the other hand, has been all but displaying contempt for the synth drone. Now, let me explain what I mean by that, because I'm not Roland bashing. I'm trying to help them. Constructive criticism can help build somebody and change their direction. For years, prior to Behringer coming on to the scene and other companies stepping up their game in the analog world, synth drones have been screaming, "Give us analog." We wanted to see something in today's tech used in the analog world. When you got this kind of competition in the market and people are buying it, it should tell Roland something. I don't think Roland gets it. Another problem with Roland is they don't have a flagship. I think they called their Integra 7 their flagship, the epitome of their digital synthesis. They tried to come out with the SY22, but they didn't even develop it in-house. It was third party. Korg gets it. Korg has come out with the MS-20, their own clone. Did a fantastic job, right down to the filter. It's amazing. All the quirks, all the sound. That thing has got guts. I love it. Yamaha is coming out with their CS80. That just reminds me. The Yamaha CS80 is being cloned by Yamaha. If Yamaha can't keep the prices down, Behringer's going to kick their butt. It's just plain and simple. Behringer's going to make a very high quality CS80 clone. They just are. And if Yamaha can't compete with that price, they're going to get a wake-up call. Now, Yamaha has been around for a long time too, but I think they're just now starting to get what Synth Drones want because they're going into the analog cloning thing of their own gear. If Yamaha was smart and they want to survive this, they would go back and clone all of their old stuff, okay? They don't really need to clone everything. They don't need to clone the DX7. They don't need to clone anything that they've ever done digital because the montage does all of that and then some. Honestly, it does. But they do need to go back and clone some of their earlier analog stuff because it sounded great. If they don't do that, somebody else will, and they're going to lose market shares in the analog world. These companies that want to survive are going to have something out there to lure people in. Now, UDO is coming out with the Super 6. I like to mention this a lot because I'm extremely excited about it because it is one of the warmest sounding synthesizers I have heard in a long time. And if I can get my hands on one of them, I will demo that thing until the keys fall off because I think it needs to be heard. I think it needs to be learned about. I think people need to buy one. With that being said, the Novation Summit, I don't think it's going to bring a whole lot more to the table than the Peak already brought. But if you don't have the Peak already, I think you should grab one if you're considering a Peak. And therein lies the problem because the Peak will be competing against its sister brother, the Summit. And Novation may have to pull the Peak off the market to bring sales up of the Summit. However, then they're not going to have a synthesizer that is going to be like middle ground for the consumer to choose from. They're going to have low price, high price, no middle price. That's something for them to think about. But I have a prediction. If they don't pull the Peak off the market, the price is going to go whoop. They're going to drop the price like Korg did. If they drop the price like Korg did, and you've been thinking about selling your Peak, and you didn't listen to me about selling your Peak, now your price that you're going to get on the used market is also going to go bloop. So I hope you're listening to this because if they decide to drop the price like Korg did on the Prologue, and you still own your Peak at the time they do that, and you want to get a Summit and upgrade, you're going to be hurting because the prices are going to be driven down. Because here's what the consumer is going to do. Why should I buy a Peak at such and such price when a brand new one costs the same price? You're going to lose money. That's what's happening with the Prologue right now. I've been checking the prices on the Prologue, and people are asking $13.99 for a used Prologue 16 voice. Unfortunately for them, they probably haven't heard the news that a brand new one's $14.99. Well, I'm going to buy a used one from somebody I don't know, or I'm going to go buy a brand new one for a little bit extra from a company I know that will take care of me if there's a problem. I've also seen Prologues used at $899, the 8 voices, and they're going for $9.99, brand new. The market's falling out on these, on the used market is. So they kind of missed the boat on that one. But since you're watching my channel, you guys got a heads up about the peak. So my advice to you is unload them while you can if you're thinking about the summit. Now, I don't want to tell anybody what to do and how to sell their gear and when to sell their gear, but I will tell you this. If you're holding on to your peak until the last minute when the summit comes out, just because you want it around, you might be missing the boat. Something to think about. Anyway, Korg, Novation, Arteria, Behringer will be driving the market into the 2020s. There'll be other synth companies that will be coming along, but they won't be selling a large amount. Roland, is my prediction, will be left behind unless somehow, some way, they surprise the world. Before I go, I want to tell you, I'm going to be doing some changes over here in the studio. I'm going to be adding some outboard gear and change how things go into the Studio Live 32. And I'll be talking about that over at patreon.com, some of my behind the scenes stuff. If you guys haven't hooked up with me over there yet, it would be much appreciated. It really means a lot to me when I have Patreon supporting me, and I give you guys a little bit extra over there for that effort that you make and the love that you show me. So I really appreciate that. All the links are in the description and a comment below. So if you want to find out more about what I'm doing over there, take a trip over there and check it out. And who knows, give me some love, and you guys will get some love back. Until next time, I am Pure Ambient Drone. I love all of you guys, and keep calm and synth on.